to start with a love poem, kind of love poem, you'll see. It's called Early Days. Your room, like a child's, paint box, primary, solid, comforting. Up the ladder to the split level, round the corner your bed, with the window wide to the noisy lift of the breeze. I'm like a cat, trying to explore the space, the corners, checking out the territory from every angle. I don't know how, but every time I see you, it's magical, though the tea you make tastes like milk and dishwater. This house reminds me of the Brixton days. The bus Jen lived in one winter, those summers spent lying in a hammock in Reimer Street with her, surrounded by towers of sunflowers, colours rich, monsoon, the house full of dreamers, someone always playing tunes, easy days. Breaking into the Lido after dark, exquisite, swimming under the stars. It all resonates here with you. You are what I know. I'm happy, balancing on the step as you tell me the story of Ariadne's thread, Theseus and the Minotaur. You hum tunes as evening grows and the shouts of children fade to a mother calling them home. It's all spun out, precious, it's like a spell. But my heart is not easy, wound tight like a spring, refusing to let go. You ask me how I feel. I say like a hedgehog, prickles ready. You say you think you are falling. I might begin to believe you. That's what I'm afraid of, but not very. And the next one is, it's kind of about, if you know, well, maybe you or people you know, where they kind of have this aspiration to be something, but it's just really far away from what their life's actually like. And that kind of idea is what informed this poem that I wrote about a friend of mine, and it's just called Monica. He says her name like Monica, breaking off from being an aeroplane. She has a faraway smile again, moist eyes, dreaming of babies, fat ones, lots of them. Pudgy arms reaching up for her, sticky kisses and mouthing for mummy. Tears that can only be quenched by her, little ones she doesn't have to give back. She was always the aspiring housewife, glamorous hostess, skilled sex kitten, skilled chef. A coffee table you'd be afraid to put your feet on, Spanish stains, no mess. She'd be a vision from the 50s, dutiful, bringing his slippers after work. The man, the kids, the house in the suburbs, lipstick flawless, no career but housework. Impossible to see it in bedsit land. Room heaped high, mounting junk, magazines. A small clearing on the bed where she sleeps, mould growing on discarded plates and cups, and she'd be always out, flying, grooving round any room, be bopping up and down, bag slung on her back, fag in hand, the original festival party girl. But she'd give up every all-nighter, hang up her whistle and her heels for good, forget the particular haze of dawn, hungry as birds, a chirpy afterglow, leave behind the sweet yeasty bread calling from the bakery halfway up Brixton Hill. She'd never swallow another pill, down a short, or reapply her makeup, if it meant she could be the domestic queen she carries close to her heart. Life would be a perfect oasis of calm, waiting for him to come home, a child on each arm. And like Inua, I think, I write a lot about London. I mean, I kind of write about a place, but I lived in London for 20 years before I came up here, and I love London, so I've kind of written a lot about places there, and I think one of my favourite areas is Brick Lane, and this is a piece called Brick Lane, All Tribes Are Welcome. Brick Lane. No two faces the same, streets that have always welcomed immigrants, the signs in Bengali under the English names, the mosque that used to be a synagogue. When people settled here, they brought wealth in their disparity, custom, foods and cloth, the cockney blag of a market stall holder, the weight of a small island in gold around his neck, 16 AA batteries a pound, Calvin Klein boxes, £5 for packs of 3. the Indians next to him with luxury throwovers, a tiger resplendent in grass, but don't ask or assume that what you get is what you see. Though at the bagel shop, quality is assured as the queue continually spills out the door, hot salt beef, salmon and cream cheese, coffee that doesn't cost a ridiculous amount, and I can't count how many accents swirl in the air of misted breath, voices crying out their wares. Here is London, as it's always been, arms wide open to many dreams as people travelled many seas to come, to be swallowed up and used. The streets were never paved with gold. The locals' welcome not always warm, sometimes hostile, sometimes aggrieved. But weekend market, bohemian, chic, values all, and smiles at least are free. Sunday morning peace in the church of meeting lives, not even a nail bomb could shatter this compromise. An Islam praise song mingles with a baby girl's cries, and outside the curry houses, a waiter entices the tourists in. Further down, in a cafe, Pakistani children in the window eat ketchup and chips with satisfied grins. A couple holding hands parade their mixed race love. No one pretends it's easy, that it won't be tough, but here there's no problem with interracial if you look cool enough. It's all about appearances. The lad on the corner with knocked off tobacco says the coppers told him it's okay as long as he's discreet. And down the street, from the Jewish rag trade to the son of Marrakesh, the Vibe Bar and 93 feet east rub shoulders with Bengali restaurants, the mess of bric-a-brac stalls, where last year's rubbish is someone else's prize. Whatever you want, it's here. Whoever you are, it's fine. Communities are built on ties of more than blood. A Rasta calls out, Abashanti, drum and bass, dub roots and culture at Brixton Rec, with flyers for Friday, Feb the 6th. A footnote says, all tribes are welcome, and I guess that's it, here at least, amongst the young and the beautiful, from Brixton to Brick Lane. Love knows no colour, has no laws, dares to be free. So that often, almost by accident here, there is a kind of unity. I think I'd do this piece. It's just called Nursery. I'll just get some water. It feels like the last days of us, last of the weighted comfort of her little body asleep against me, of her world being mummy, then everything beyond. Safe inside the castle of my arms, my smile, her son. She's so very young. It's too soon to hand her over to strangers. My last chances to catch all her firsts leak like sand through clenched fists. Will they respond as soon as she cries? Will they monitor every sneeze or cough? Will they love her as much as me? Of course not, but I have to believe it will be enough. Even now, I miss her sometimes if we aren't touching. If she's too long in her buggy or sitting on the floor, I have to scoop her up, draw her close, smell her Johnson's hair and milky breath, before the world intrudes again, preempting the slow ache of days apart, when I have to give her up, let others care, for the single most precious thing I ever had, and I'm desperate for more time, with no one else there. And one more piece, we'll go at the time, yeah. I had something else in mind, but I think I'm going to do this one. Yeah, not long lived up here, and when I first moved up, I was just sort of kind of trying to make sense of the difference really between the north and the south, and sort of getting used to that. I've only ever had a working title for this poem. I can't think of a serious title, but I just called it Flat Caps and Ferrets. I hope it doesn't offend anybody, but yeah. We bring our London ways north, suspicious of the stranger on the towpath who asks if we're settling in all right. My head buried in a book on the train, not joining in the chat, thinking surely these women can't have just met. The chippy sells spam fritters, mushy peas, cheesy chips. But I miss the Savoys, a fortune cookie for the kiddie from our East End Chinese. Miss all right mate and see ya. Now it's Ayo and Tara. At the gym, the sign on the door says outdoor shoes not to be wore in the studio. Tongue twisting round unfamiliar vowels in Yorkshire now. We arrived the weekend the Tinsley Towers came down. Sheffield, sodden, stolid. Not the style over substance we left behind. Yummy mummies with designer buggies, Shoreditch boys on Vespers. Brick Lane dandies barely dressed. Here, admiration would be replaced by mutters, daft buggers. A cliched world of obligatory steel and hovis, open die forgings, seamless rings, trading the Isle of Dogs and Bethnal Green for Brightside, Attercliffe. Scrawled in the dust of a back door, nobody's lass is more filthy than this van, sounds better than, I wish my wife was this dirty. Avoided eye contact on the tube, the under the breath diss, but sadly, it's the hostility I miss. I drive out of Leeds, take the M1 lane signposted Wakefield, London, like a promised carrot dangling on a string, and I wonder if I might just keep going. 200 miles south, so far. Why did we leave behind the place we loved? A better life for our children, seeking our fortune in this pitted landscape of grit and muck and rain, of common sense and straight talking, of dinner for lunch and tea for dinner, of steel slag heaps, mothers' unions and bingo halls, but little I can call